What is up, gents? GreyKnight dude. I'm actually thinking about changing the channel name, just so you guys know. Dirtbag 40k, 40k Wargamers, Dirtbags, Dirtbag Wargamers, something like that. But we're back. We did a GT. I'm sorry that it took so long, but it's been about maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Wow. Since we've been to the Leprechaun GT event, all about 2 hours up North Jersey. So we are actually able to place 11th out of a 42-man tournament with GreyKnights. And I'm going to go through each game like I usually do. And we're going to go through, I'm going to try and make it quicker than usual because it was 3 weeks ago. So hopefully I can still remember exactly what happened per game. But the guy that we lost to was the broken Quins before all the updates. So this is pre-update that everybody got. This is pre the -1 AP that all, mostly everybody got with Space Marines. The pre-Quins nerf and the pre-Custodes nerf. So take all that into account and know exactly what the changes would have been if, we played after the nerf. So I got all the pictures. We're going to go through it one by one. Let me pull this up for you guys. So this was the first picture. I'd never seen the Battle Sanctum from Sisters up close before, and it is freaking huge. I can't wait to get this model. Like that's a Quinn just kind of chilling out on the balcony, but it is ginormous. It's like 9-10 inches long and like 12 inches wide. So this is basically the store. It was a huge store. So shout out to Mythicos, who's up in North Jersey. Like they are a phenomenal store for tabletop wargaming. Have a lot of product. The hosts were amazing. So shout out to them. I bought their dice, bought a bunch of stuff from them after the tournament. But it was a great show. We had a lot of really high octane people show up to this grand tournament, so it was definitely a Shark Tank. This was the list we brought, so this is the GreyKnights list. I'll link the list in the comments below. But Drago, Callidus Assassin, who's OP, Tech Priest, Grandmaster Dreadknight, 3 Dreadknights, a Rhino, 3 Strike Squads, and 3 Interceptor Squads. So pretty standard GreyKnight list. Blades of Victory, which nobody really knows about. So when I was running it, I was trying to explain it to everybody, and I was like, I'm running Blades of Victory. Like, what's that? I'm like, exactly. So it's a 6-inch pregame move. It was, it's always clutch. I love that Brotherhood. And that was the Quins player I actually lost to. Was it? No, that's shit. Who's that? That's Nolan's. Never mind. So just took a picture of a bunch of armies. You guys can pause this, kind of zoom in and check it out. But this was a Hello Kitty Admech army. This was a Crusher Stampede, which is just stupid broken. A bunch of knights, really cool looking paint job. Custodes, there's a shit ton of Custodes there. Not as many Tals as I thought. Some Space Marine armies. This was fantastic paint job. I'm sorry, I don't know who had this, but this was unbelievable skill and color scheme that this Eldar had. This was cool. Gene Stowe Colt. A guard army, a bunch of horses, very cool. And this was the start of it. That's the host. Two 3 judges, all awesome. This was Tony's, I think this was Tony's list. Fantastic looking army. All right, cool. So first game, we played Fox. That was his last name. I don't know if I can ever forget it. But let me pull up the stat. All right, so Brandon Fox is a part of Vindicta. I guess they're like it's TJ Lanigan's, I guess, team, but they're a very good team. So he was a very good opponent. Of course, that's the first thing that I pick is fucking Custodes, game 1 of the GT. So his list was that one that I showed you. So it had a big tank, sister squad, obviously Trajan, I think 3 bikes, 3 bike squads with the bike captain, bodyguard term, like basically the standard Custode list that you guys have been seeing. And this was the game. So we had this set up with the 5 objectives. No Man's Land. So this was great. My first game, my Blades of Victory can't pregame move into No Man's Land. So I was like, all right, I'll get this out of the way. Game 1. I was like, I'm probably going to lose this because I had such a bad record going into Custodes before this grand tournament. But it was against a player that knows exactly how to beat me and is very good into GreyKnights. So most of the custodes there, I think there were 2 of them that had the 4-up invuln save to mortal wounds, which I think he was one of them. And then there was another one which I didn't get to play. But let's get into it. So this was deployment. He had all of his bikes in the back left corner here. And then he had a small bike unit here. So he had 2 bike units back there with the bike captain, 2 bike unit here, all the infantry. Trajan was right there. And then this guy all the way out there. Now let me give you something with this guy. This guy placed 4th overall. So he won out the rest of his games. That's how good of a player he was. So this was my deployment. I actually got to go first in this game, and he had a redeploy, but he didn't want to redeploy anything. So this tank was basically my target. I was like, all right, how fast can I kill this tank? So basically I redeployed everything on this side. So I start the deployment here. I had to redeploy 3. So I redeployed all my Dreadknights over in this corner over here. Everybody else is kind of in the center here. I deep strike 2 strike squads, I believe, and the Callidus assassin. So the 2 interceptor squads in the Rhino, an interceptor squad over here to get that objective. And kind of my whole goal is just to get all of the guys over here to kill that tank as soon as possible. And my goal is to stay away from his bikes as much as possible. The bikes basically kill dreads super easily. So that was his thing, is since he didn't want to redeploy and put his bikes more central, I was like, all right, how fast or how far away can I stay from these bikes? And that was basically my whole goal the whole game. So after turn 1, I killed his tank. His bikes got out, left my 1 dude with 1 guy, 1 interceptor on this thing. I was like, all right, I'll spend 2 CP to try and make him live, and then that way I can cast Psychic Ritual to get at least 1 more point from him, which I'll tell you what happened in a second. So he had a bunch of guys walk out here, with Trajan kind of like running around here, the bolter guys, the bike captain, all that stuff. I literally put all of my guys literally over here. The Rhino ended up right here. So I got a lot of Psychic Rituals off this turn. But after this, I spent 2 CP to get this guy not to run. And then I casted and I failed. And then I spent a CP to re-roll it. And he fucking failed again. So I spent 3 CP on this guy. And he just shit the bed. So that was like the worst thing ever. And then I brought all my dreads, started walking them towards the middle to start facing off into the bike captain, Trajan, all of these guys. And the bikes just stayed over here. So they kind of worked their way back towards my center objective. And my dreads kind of shuffled around this way. So we did a little circle throughout the entire game. The 1 guy that survived, I think I gated him from over there over to here, or maybe I didn't gate that guy. I might have gated another guy. But there's 1 guy left in one of these squads, which I gated over to here. That way these 2 units can leave. So that 1 guy stayed behind the wall and literally just kept doing Psychic Ritual the rest of the game on this objective. It was so clutch. All right, so this is the next turn. His bikes are now in my ass back here. Strikes, interceptors, strikes, Drago, and Tech Priest are still back here. I brought in my assassin right here to finish off, or kind of leave some support when his bikes came in here. And his bike captain's right here. So my goal was to kind of bring my assassin in and kind of kill either the bike captain or Trajan or do some damage. The Terminator captain teleported over here to kind of face off against one of the dreads. And then these guys routed back here. Rhino is literally running up here. Got killed by these dudes, bodyguard people. Trajan is still right here. So he's kind of like running around this building. And then this turn, it just kind of went all to hell. So basically we were able to kill his bikes with Drago, the Callidus assassin, the interceptors coming in from over here from last turn. The Grandmaster and this dread killed the bike captain here. And then this dread and these interceptors killed the captain there. So it's basically I'm tied up with Trajan, all of these guys. A lot of my guys are still alive. So at this point, this was basically towards the end of the game. Like I still have a lot of stuff alive. He didn't really have a lot left. And this was the final score. So we had primary, I got a lot of primary points. Secondary, I got pretty good secondary points. Stranglehold, I only missed 1. which taking Stranglehold against Custodes is probably one of the worst ideas you could take, but it worked out for me because of how he deployed. He deployed so fucking far back corner that I was able to get to the center and keep my 3 objectives most of the game. It's like ritual 4, 2, 4, 4, 1. Like that was probably the best like ritual game I've ever had. The one guy fucked me up on turn 2. He had total max of 60. I had 88 or 80, whatever, the 87 to 60. So that was, again, such a good player. He wound up 4th overall. So the guy I beat turn 1 wound up 4th overall, and he won out the rest of the game. So that's how good of an opponent he was. So, and that's how it was after the game. We went to go get food, and I was fucking exhausted. That was in the middle of Acme. So game 2 was against Orcs. Really funny Orc player. You can't play Orcs unless you're a funny player. So really good guy. I got turn 1, and this was my deployment. The mission was the circle 9-inch and then 2 corners. So he deployed one of his ambushing units there, ambushing unit over here, and then all of his things kind of castled up right here. He had this guy, Gazgul, which I wasn't afraid of him just because he can't go through buildings. He's pretty slow. But yeah, so turn 1, I basically moved up and I tried to kill the plane and the bikes as much as possible. So let me see if I can see that. So basically everything's still up. I didn't take a lot of pictures of this game, but everything was still up, and then now there's not a lot left. So the whole goal of this game, my turn 1, I had a really good turn 1. I had my interceptors pop out here, get that objective and kill these guys. I had my interceptors hop out of the Rhino over this way and then charge and kill these guys. All 3 dreads kind of walked over to get line of sight onto the plane and the 2 bike or trucks over here. So I was able to kill one of the trucks. Didn't kill the plane, but I killed one of the trucks, did a lot of wounds to the other truck, and did some wounds to the plane. His turn 1, he flew the plane all the way up here to block my Dreadknights in my deployment zone. So I couldn't really walk past it because the base, I can walk by it, but I can't land on it. Or I can't be within an inch either. So he kind of blocked me, which was great on his part. He has the flyers, which flew out and just shot the shit out of my dreads, which I rolled pretty good, so none of them died. I killed a lot of the charging guys after he got out of the trucks and kind of went around. My Grandmaster shunted over to here to get line of sight onto his buggy and these guys. So I killed the buggy, killed these guys with my Grandmaster and the interceptors, and he failed his 7 or 8 inch charge on those guys on his turn 1 against my interceptors. So that's how they were still alive, because he failed the charge twice. And let's get into this turn. So this is kind of wrapping up towards the end of the game. By the end of the game, I still had 2 dreads, a Rhino kind of like in this deployment zone. I think I had Engage, and then we had the bike copters, which were still alive. They have a shit ton of shots. We had Terminators, which had flamers in them, so they did really well. I deep struck these guys back here. My Callidus assassin came down here, killed one of his characters that were over here, and then this guy's literally just kind of still there. The jump pack dudes are trying to hold his objectives, and by the end of the game, Gaz kind of runs in the middle of the table and just kind of holds down the fort. And let me see if I have the end. So that was everything we killed. So this is towards the end of the game. Gaz kind of went over here to try and kill my Grandmaster. I think he made the charge, but then I procced my 3++ and my Grandmaster lived. And then Grandmaster literally just turned around and killed Gaz. So we were able to smite him a couple times, and then we did some damage in my combat. So then on his turn, or my turn, I was able to smite again and then kill him in melee. So that's how we were able to kill Gaz. These copters died once I got my strikes in Drago. They basically walked out of this and then charged and killed the copters. So by the end of the game, this is all that we had left. He had these guys here. I still had my assassins somehow. These guys were alive over here, and these guys were in the middle of the table. So this was the final score. We had 45, 14, 14, 8 on Engage. And then we had 42, 9, 7, 12. So it was actually a closer game than I thought. So that was against the Orc player game 2. So we're going into game 3, 2-0. I was feeling pretty confident. And then we get another Custodes player. Now this guy, Tony Phillips, he actually placed 5th in the tournament. So I placed I beat the one Custodes player that placed 4th, and then I lost in this game against Tony Phillips, who also plays GreyKnights. He didn't really know what the Blaze of Victory was. He's heard of it, but he doesn't really run it. And then after the game, we talked about it, and he fucking loves it now. So this was the deployment. Also very good player, super nice guy. And this was his list. So he had 2 tanks, 2 units. He had the banner guy, which gives the -1 to hit. He had the captain that can do the teleport thing. He had Trajan, obviously, the sisters, and 3 small units of guys. 1 bolter guy, 1 bodyguard, and 1 shield guy, and the bike captain. So his very defensive strategy basically hit everybody. The Games Workshop terrain, everything under 5 inches you couldn't see. So my Dreadknights could actually be in here. You can't see them. So it was very good line of sight blocking terrain throughout the entire GT. So I think, did I have turn 1? It's so hard to remember. I don't know who had turn 1. I think he had turn 1. Yes. So that's what happened. He had turn 1. So this was a deployment. I don't think he redeployed that much, but his turn 1, he basically moved everybody out into the center with the banner, the bikes, the sisters, Trajan, like everybody was basically out in the center. My turn 1, I had my Rhino here, so I was able to hop out my interceptors, basically move everybody around. This was kind of like the end of turn 1 or 2. And I was able to kill his banner guy. I think I took Assassinate on this mission. So I killed his banner guy in the middle of the table with my interceptor. So they had Sanctuary, reroll hits. They basically were super buffed up. I hopped out, killed the banner guy. I had a unit of interceptors over here, a dread that was still back here. All my dreads kind of shifted out over here with my Grandmaster, and I was trying to shoot and kill the 3 bikes that were here. I put Empyric Amplification on. He rolled super well with the saves. He had all the buffs on him, so obviously that's no longer available. But the bikes went down to 1. These guys came up from over here, so they basically kept running and getting into combat over here. The tank moved up, and with this like 5-inch line of sight, he was only able to really shoot the Grandmaster and maybe this dread, but he was trying to put wounds into the Grandmaster, and the reason because I rolled like complete ass. And I hate using rolls as an excuse for any type of game because we're playing a dice game, it's all statistics. But if you ask Tony what the hell happened with this game, I rolled like absolute fucking garbage. My Callidus Assassin rolled 0 4 pluses to get a CP from him. So literally the entire game, I think I rolled 1 towards like turn 3. Or turn 2 at the end of turn 2. But every single time he spent a CVP, which was a lot, I didn't roll 4 up at all. My Grandmaster, you're seeing he's on 2 wounds because he popped his 3++, and I rolled at least, what is that? 2 up, a bunch of 1s and 2s from this thing, a bunch of 1s and 2s from this thing. Like it was just such bad rolls on my 3++. That turn, so that he's like, oh fuck it, I'll just charge your Grandmaster. He wasn't going to charge my Grandmaster until my Grandmaster had 2 fucking wounds left. So that was such bad rolling. And then this was the biggest mistake I made against Tony, was Drago. You see him up top here. I don't know why I did that. That was just game 3 of a GT, super tired. I brought him up top so we can have line of sight to I think Trajan or the bike captain. I was going to put Empyric Amplification on the bike captain. But instead, I casted a Gate of Affinity and a Sanctuary, which both spells you don't need line of sight for, and he didn't need to be up there at all. So what he did was he's like, oh shit, Drago has no bodyguard, no like whatever, he's up front, yada yada. So he brings everybody up to be closest to Drago, to just shoot the shit out of Drago. His one bike captain has the ignore invulns and rerolls like hits and wounds against characters. And then all the bikes put everything into Drago. So Drago's sitting on 1 wound. I rolled a lot of, he's a 3-up invuln. I rolled a lot of 1s and 2s on Drago. He's got a 2-up save and cover. So basically I rolled a lot of 1s. It was pitiful. And that's the reason why I think I lost, was because of this. and obviously the 3++. Again, I'm not complaining about the 3++. Mainly me messing up and putting Drago on the second floor, which was dumb. If Drago's not on the second floor, he doesn't get a lot of shots off on really anybody. Maybe this Dread, who potentially could have lived. And then he can't get a charge through here onto Drago, because Drago dies after this. The Bike Captain shoots Drago. Drago doesn't get an invuln save, so then Drago dies. Now there's room for Trajan and the Bike Captain to charge in and basically kill everything over here. Let me see if I have that picture. All right, so this is basically what happened. So Bike Captain or Trajan charges in here, kills basically almost, there's Trajan, charges in, kills almost everything, kills my Tech Priest. So this turn I lost my Grandmaster, Tech Priest, Drago, and maybe a unit of strikes. One turn, just annihilated. And then he teleports his captain over here, so he's got Trajan, Bike Captain, and his captain all on my side of the table, and then it was kind of like downhill after that. Yeah, it was just bad. Callidus charged here, or landed here. I failed a 5-inch charge. I do remember that. So that's why Callidus is there, not attacking Trajan. And these guys, I think, deep struck over here. Try to get a charge on the tank. I failed the 9-inch charge. And I think that was it for my turn. Don't know why that picture was there. Maybe I was just showing that I failed the 9-inch charge. So this is what it looks like. So there's his captain who teleported in, Trajan who charged because Drago died, and then the Bike Captain there. So these guys, I think, hopped out of the Rhino or something. I don't know. I forget how they got there. They have Hammerhand on them. The strikes have Hammerhand. I did literally nothing to anybody. He made a lot of invuln saves. So by the end of the game, I think I had 2 Dreads here. I kept casting Psychic Ritual. I kept casting Psychic Ritual up top left. So kind of he didn't really need to kill these guys. They were just kind of there getting me points every single game, or every single turn. He then killed everything else in this corner. And then we finished the points up right here. So I had 67, he had 98. So he had 98 points against me. That was brutal. I got Psychic Ritual 12 for that. I got 4 for Engage. I got 3 for Assassinate, just because I only killed the banner. So the secondaries, maybe, again, I don't know, because Drago died so early, and that was my mistake. So I don't know if I could have killed Trajan or the Bike Captain. He had 4 fucking characters. I should have killed a couple of them, right? And then Engage. I only got 2 for Engage, so that kind of sucked as well. So that was my first loss of the GT. Look at this model. This model is insane. Huge ass shield, huge ass polearm as a centaur for the knights. I don't know if you guys ever seen this guy before. He's freaking awesome. Here's some more old school bugs. Old school Titans for this. I took a picture of it. All metal, old school Terminator or Tyranids. Old school Carnifexes. Look at that. That's fucking awesome. Old school Hive Tyrant, old school Rippers, old school Tyranids, old school cards. Yeah, really cool army. And that's Nolan. That's one of the roommates. He drank a whole fucking 6-pack that night. We just said fuck it. We all lost. Actually, he was 3-0. He was 3-0 going into the last game with Quins, of course. And he drank a whole 6-pack to himself. And then me and Mike were kind of just chilling out, drinking some beers. So this is my first game of the second day. This was against Eldar. Not a normal Eldar. This new list. Didn't have a Farseer, but he used everything that he had painted with the new codex. So really fun opponent. We actually played in War Machine prior, but this was kind of like an uphill battle from him since the beginning. These guys are really cool. Whatever these guys are on the jet bikes, they have a pre-game move of 16 inches. So they basically get to anywhere they want. I think they ignore lookouts or whatever they have, but they're really cool. He had the sniper dude from Eldar. He had the one super insane other Primarch that has really good in melee. They can get back up if they die. I think that's a stratagem. He had a bunch of these ranger guys. He had these like really hard-hitting shot guys. couple of these battle platform people. He had these chicks. Oh, there she is, that girl with the big hair. She had these chicks in the there, and then he had a striking scorpions, deep strike, who have a shit ton of like melee attacks. So that was his list. This was the mission with the 6 whatever these are called, objective markers. I deployed pretty defensively here. Interceptors, he got first turn. So interceptors, all these guys, he basically threw bikes in my face. And then deployed teleport homers, I believe. So I had a really good turn 1. My turn 1, I basically kill most of his bikes with melee. I kill the tank in the middle. I kill the rangers. My interceptors hop out of the rhino. They charge the 1 dudes that are over here. I kill them. I kill a bunch of his hard-hitting shooting guys in front of this guy. I freaking shunted this dude all the way in his back corner. It's just like, what's up, gents? And then I shifted kind of everybody over here in the middle. So his then next go around, he finishes off my sanctuary interceptors with this chick. These guys, I believe, helped as well. And then he deep struck. He rolled super bad his turn 3, I believe. So his turn 3, he failed his charge on his striking scorpions. I think he needed like an 8 twice, and he failed both. These what are they called? The melted dudes that come in. He had those guys, the fire dragons. They came down here to try and blow up one of my dreads. They rolled like 3 1s to wound. So the dread lived and then finished them off. And then this guy is still alive. He's kind of running away from my Grandmaster. My Grandmaster used his shunt ability to literally get all the way in this corner. Once he targeted him with a shot, I shunted, got behind his enemy lines. He finished off that unit on the objective back here. And then he only had 1 squad, this chick who got back up, and this guy, and this 1 dude left after his turn 3. So that basically was kind of like towards the end of the game. We finished off. Yeah, this is the end of the game. So I think we tabled this game. Yeah, we tabled this game. I think we maxed out on points. I just felt vanilla. I just felt so bad after this game. But then we go into the last game against this dude, which some of you guys might know, Vanilla. He played Quins. So I go into the last game 3-1. And I get the pair down, or the pair up. He gets the pair down. Of course, Vanilla gets the pair down. Going into the final game, he's playing Quins. He knows GreyKnights to an extent, but a lot of it was kind of new to him. So this was the list. He ran, obviously, the normal broken Quins game, all of the Melta's pistols. He had the sniper dude, I'm sorry, I don't know the names, but the guy that could charge 24 inches or whatever, the other chick that ignores invuln saves, 369 or 6 Void Reavers, the ones that shoot really good. 3, 6, maybe not, I don't know. There was a shit ton of shots. He had the dude that reduced the distance by 6 inches. He had this other guy. So he has a lot of characters, a lot of shots. And this was his basically deployment. This guy was freaking hilarious. This is a deployment. He basically deployed 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units. So basically he had 3 of these guys and a bunch of transports, or 2 units of 3, a unit of 2, and a bunch of transports. So this was the mission. Sticky objectives, which we forgot about. So we didn't even play as sticky objectives, which would have changed. Now let me tell you about going to this mission, or this thing. I basically was like, I'm not gonna win. I'm just playing for fun. Really nice to meet you. We exchanged numbers at the end of the day because he actually liked how I played, and he talked about in this battle about me, not really me. He basically talked about my army, but he mentioned Blades of Victory, which was surprisingly super fast, which I was like yes, and the Callidus Assassin, which was clutch. Because he didn't want to spend CP because he was like, oh shit, it's going to cost me 2 CP when the Callidus Assassin. So it's all a mind game with the Callidus Assassin, and it was super fun to play this guy. So he was a super fun opponent, really good opponent, obviously, and this was after turn 1. So my deployment, I got turn 1, and I think helped out a lot. So he didn't redeploy anything. This was his deployment. He had this guy kind of chilling right there just to kind of throw blitz in my face. What I did wrong was I shunted my Grandmaster, or I walked up 6 for my Blades of Victory, and then I moved 9. And then I shunted the one Dreadknight up here, and then I gate affinity the other Dreadknight right there. So I wanted to get as many shots off onto his vehicles back here, because I can only shoot 24 inches because of this dude reducing my distance by 6, which they nerfed. So I was trying to get as many shots off on the heavy hitting tanks as I could. Only hitting on 4s, which is bullshit. Not getting rerolls outside of 6, which is bullshit. And the 4-up invuln save with the rerolls, which is bullshit. So going into bullshit army, I tried my best. So what we did was we moved up 6 with the interceptors. We put sanctuary on them and rerolls, which doesn't matter because you can't get rerolls on really anybody. They moved up 12, and I rerolled the charges on them. So I was able to kill this guy, tie up 2 of the vehicles, and put a bunch of wounds onto these vehicles turn 1. All right, so again, my mistake. This guy went over here. He was able to get on the objective and cast some powers, and we casted ritual, and ritual. So I think I got 6 points turn 1 on the ritual, which was awesome. He had a unit of troops right here, just kind of waiting next turn to get on this objective. So that was turn 1. Very, very good turn 1. His turn 1, these guys walked out, got on the objective. This was after turn 1. So bunch of wounds. I blew up one of the vehicles, killed that guy, and that was it. Cool. So let's go into the next one. This is after his turn 1. So we moved everything up to get shots off of on this guy. He has the melts in here, so they basically have to be within 6 inches to just blow the shit up out of that guy. This one transport flew out over there, and these guys hopped out with the one rose dude with the invuln saves, ignore invuln saves. These guys hopped on the objective, and that was it. So he kills, let me see if I took a picture of the next game. He kills the interceptors, he kills the 2 dreads, he kills this guy off the objective, which I think I shouldn't have done. Like, that should have been over. He would have, no, fuck, so that's where I messed up. I should have killed my one Justicar or anybody else and kept the one guy on the objective. That was my mistake. And then this guy lived, actually. So he charged and tried to kill this Dreadknight, but it actually lived somehow with 5 wounds. So he swung back, killed a bunch of the strikes or the troops. My assassin came down right here, within 5 inches of the character. These guys came down over here, which I did change after this tournament to put incinerators on my strike squads instead of all stormbolters, so that way at least I can get some flamers off on Quins. So these guys came down here, those guys came down up there, the assassin there, and then all these guys are still kind of hunkered down in our main objective. These guys hopped out over here. The Rhino's literally just going up there, kind of just to be in that corner. Dreadknight got gated from Drago out of this combat to then fly up over here. And this is where the comment that he mentioned, which I thought was super funny. Going into turn 2, he's like, whoa, I think I'm gonna lose. And when he said that, I was like, oh shit, no way. Like, and I started like really paying attention. I was like, oh my god, like I was taking this as a joke because there was no way I was gonna win against Quins and against this guy. So I was like super trying to pay attention, trying to like, you know, win and do all that stuff. So after this game, or this turn, these guys had a reroll charge. They failed the charge on this thing. These guys only killed like one guy here, and I failed the charge there. She charged and killed, she shot this guy, killed that guy, and then charged and finished off this guy, so she kind of took over that objective. And then up here, the Grandmaster was never shot out the entire game. But up here, we failed the charge over here. And then these guys kind of like just, I don't think this thing died. What is, oh, this was one of my rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ones. Yeah, that was one of my rolls. So I thought I'd take a picture of it because I never did that error in my life. I don't even know what it was from, but it was probably to hit or something. I don't know. So these guys got outs. This guy got outs. There's a couple of these big hitter vehicles left. These guys failed the charge. So that was after this. So let's get into this one. Now you can see these guys are now dead. These guys are now dead. This guy hopped over. This guy hopped over. This guy's still there. These guys hopped out, finished off that dread. These guys hopped out and basically finished off these guys. So this is basically towards the end of the game. I took Bring It Down, so I was just trying to kill as many vehicles as possible. This is where Drago and these guys kind of walked out and started walking towards this to try and finish off these vehicles. And let me see here. So Drago's there. He failed the charge. I think he failed like a 6 or 7 inch charge. And the Grandmaster kind of walked over here and finished off this tank. So these guys are hiding in the building on this objective. And again, this is sticky objective, so I literally stayed on this objective to keep it, but I could have just walked off because he has the Obsect ability, so he could have literally walked off the objective and left it. Same with over here, but I completely forgot. Same with this one, but I completely forgot. We both did. So let's get into here towards the end of the game. These guys are still alive. And I think towards the end of the game, he basically just ran everybody out to try and kill Drago, which he eventually managed to do. So all I have left is my Grandmaster. So it tables me at the end of the game. I have the Grandmaster. This is the final score. All right, so this is the final score, 45 to 94. We got, I don't even know. Bring It Down, I got 8. Engage, I got 6. And Ritual, I got 11. On Primary, I think I got 4. Yeah, so I only got 4 and 4 on Primary because it was a whole 2 objective, which was really hard. And again, sticky objectives, I totally forgot about. So he also made a comment. I was probably one of the toughest GreyKnight players, which was really cool. One of the hardest missions he's seen over the weekend besides Crusher Stampede. So again, I took that as a compliment. But I mean, going into the final game, facing Anthony Vanilla as the pair down, which was kind of brutal, and Quins, which were completely broken. So I tried to do the best I could. I went 3-2 in this GT. Anthony went 5-0. TJ Lanigan, who brought Crusher Stampede, went 5-0. Joseph, also Crusher Stampede, went 4-1. Brandon Fox is the guy I beat game 1, so that was my loss, or that was his loss. So super cool player, really good opponent. Tony Phillips, also very, very good player and opponent. He'll probably see this video once it's posted. He lost his last round. And then we have High Fleet Leviathan, which was probably Crusher Stampede. Michael Butler, old school player. We used to play a bunch of times. He's on Art of War. Brian Zween, who brought Gene Still Cold. So booyah. What else? So then we got Joseph Clark with Custodes. Jim with Elder, I guess. Me with 11th GreyKnights. And Tau, Thousand Suns, Adari, Tau. So I placed 11th. Sorry. Let me go back. Let me give you some tips of that game. All right. So this is what I should have done and did differently, which me and Vanilla were talking about at the end of the game. He can't really kill my Grandmaster in combat, he said. Yeah, he can shoot him, but if he shoots him, I shun away. So he didn't want to shoot him at all. So instead of moving this way with my Grandmaster, which he didn't really do too much, like he didn't get in combat, he kind of just like sat there and didn't really do anything, is I should have moved up 6 inches to here, and then for deployment, and then move up another 9 and just literally be in his face with my Grandmaster and all of the dreads. So at least my Grandmaster is then there. And then just kind of like fighting. Now, if I keep this Grandmaster or this Dreadknight here and just wait and not expose my 2 dreads and kind of like keep them back and just wait a turn, he's not really going to do too much. Like, he's going to fly out, kill these guys, and that's it. Again, if he shoots my Grandmaster then just shunts away. But if he doesn't shoot my Grandmaster is just there taking, you know, some charges with some people with my 3++ invuln save. He lives. So that was the biggest mistake I made, was I was too aggressive turn 1 against all of his buffed up stuff. So if I keep these guys back, like if I keep this guy behind the wall where the Grandmaster is, keep this guy probably back there where my Grandmaster is, and then keep this guy in there, I think it's a different game. Because then he has to come out to expose his vehicles, which then I could probably get some lines on to shoot and get the charge off. So if I have Empyric Amplification on his vehicles, and then my Dreadknights shoot them, they're probably going to die. So that was the biggest mistake, was I was too passive on my Grandmaster instead of being more aggressive, and I was too aggressive with my Dreadknights instead of being more passive. So that's what I learned. So against Quins, have them try to expose themselves first, play your game with Psychic Ritual, take Engage if you can, because then you can at least get 3/4 to get 2 points, and then bring it down. They're going to have to expose their vehicles at some point. Then you can get some shots and charges off them to get some points. Or Assassinate, because they're probably going to have to throw their characters at you to kill you anyway. So Assassinate isn't really a bad one either against Quins. So hopefully you guys took away something from this. It was super fun. This guy was a great host for the GT. Mythicos, great tournament. I'm definitely going to go out there again. It was only 2.5 hours. We stayed for the weekend. Mike and Nolan, we kind of just hung out and just drank beers the whole time. So guys, leave in the comments below what you learned, what you thought about it, what I could do better. A lot more battle reps are coming up. We're working a lot on getting permanent setup with in my garage, as well as at the store at Alternate Universes. We had 14 people fucking come out last Monday at AU for just the Monday night gaming. So if you guys are in Philadelphia area, you want to come check out Alternate Universes, that's where we play on Mondays, usually 6 o'clock and until like 11. And then what else? We have 2 battle reports in the making right now, and I'm about to go play today. I am starting other armies. I have Death Guard, which we're going to get on the channel. They're almost painted. Sisters of Battle, I almost have a fully completed army. They just got a little bit of a nerf or buff. So we're going to play them. And the tournament I just played over the weekend on Saturday, I placed 3rd in it with Paladins, and I only lost to Custodes, which I'll talk about in the next video against that RTT. We did find out that we are 18th in the world with GreyKnights, so let's go. And we're #1 in the Northeast of America with GreyKnights. So if you guys have any questions, comments, join the Discord. It's in the link below. And if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments. I try and respond as soon as possible. But guys, appreciate it. Super fun. We'll see you in another video soon.